Oh yeah, welcome to the new studio. This is a thing now. I've been working on this for a while. Welcome. Let's talk about the Oculus. Okay, so I've had my Oculus Quest2 now for about a month. Traveled with it, actually almost across the world, from Canada to Germany. Let's see what I think about it. So really, I want to compare the Oculus Quest2 versus, or well, I guess it's not Oculus Quest2 anymore. It's the Meta Quest2. Let's talk about the Meta Quest2. I had to do that again because I said Oculus. Even though it says Oculus here, this is the Oculus one, but I can't keep up with this shit. Okay, so we've got the Meta Quest2 versus my Reverb G2. Okay, the Reverb, first of all, a lot lighter, but this might have to do with the fact that I've got the battery pack on there and the fact that everything is packed into here. Like, I guess there's kind of expected as far as weight difference. Okay, so the specs, they're different, and that's to be expected. We already know that. One is PC tethered or PCVR, and the other is standalone. But they're close to the same price. I paid $500 for my G2 and $500 for my Meta Quest2. But I like to play competitive. Can you do it with the Quest? And then can you stream or record with it? And I'm actually testing out the mag cups for the Quest2 for my ProTube Carbon with my single point. Okay, so let's talk about the positives. Price point for the Oculus is better. That's only when you're really considering the fact that you need a PC to run the G2 or Index or any tethered PCVR, obviously. I already have a high-end PC, AMD Ryzen 5900X, RTX 3090. I've got the ROG Strix, 570E gaming motherboard, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes M.2, like 16 Thermaltake fans, and water-cool CPU in the Thermaltake Core P8. It's a big fucking PC. It's too big. I was gonna actually mount it to my wall, but it's like 25-30 kilos, and that's like what, 45 pounds? That's a lot of weight to put on the wall, and if it falls, yeah, I don't want to live through that. That would be the end. Anyways, this PC, my PC is built for post-production on films. That's my work, which means it can chew through games and FPS, flat or VR. So having that already obviously makes me lean towards a tethered or PCVR like the G2. But if you don't have that money to spend on a high-end PC, then you're totally gonna want to go for the Oculus Meta. Then you're totally gonna want to go for the Meta Quest2. I'm gonna have to give you kind of a fair warning here though. You're gonna love it. I mean, I love it, but if this is your first step into VR, I just want you to know that there's a good chance that you're gonna get addicted to it, like me. I mean, maybe not to like this extent, but you know, maybe just get the 64 gig Quest2 and save that extra, $200 or whatever, and put it in your savings account or like under your mattress if you're old school or something, and just save up for that PC, because I think in the future you're gonna want that. Everybody needs that kind of extra little bit, and honestly, PC VR gives that to you. But that's just my 2 cents, you know, whatever, do what you want with it. So here's what you get. With the Quest2, you get an awesome HMD, no strings attached. Like literally, there ain't no strings on this. And that's actually a pretty awesome when you combine that with a Wi-Fi 6 router and Airlink. You can do some very cool stuff. And even cooler is then you can also go with online solutions like maybe Shadow PC is something that I used to have. So you get this high-end PC online that you can then use to stream to your headset. Now this kind of requires pretty good internet, pretty fast internet, and also that Wi-Fi 6 router. You can kind of do it all without, but you're gonna get latency. It's not gonna be a great experience. I wouldn't recommend it, but I have used Shadow PC in the past. There's other providers out there as well that you can use. You can download your games super fast because a lot of them have a gigabit download. So you can download games fast. If you have pretty good internet at home, you should have low latency, depending on geographically, I would say, how close you are to one of their server centers. But I think it's a thing that's going to happen a lot in the future for a lot of Quest 2 users who can fork out maybe $30 a month instead of, you know, $2,000 to $10,000 for a high-end PC. So yeah, think about that. Look into it. Maybe it'll work for you, maybe it doesn't, but I think it's an option that a lot of people are going to move towards. So having the no tether, it's awesome. And there's more freedom in it for sure. But I see a lot of people online saying like, oh, I could never go back to the tether. The cable, it just ruins the immersion, right? Which I get. But I don't really subscribe to that. I mean, I love being wireless, but mostly because I can travel with it. I live in Europe. I can travel a lot here for cheap. I can drive an hour and be in another country. And I can take my Quest 2 with me wherever I go. And I'm sorted for VR without anything else. I can't do that with my G2 or my Index. So I mostly play Onward. That's my go-to, especially for YouTube. But I mean, I do play kind of everything else that I can get my hands on. And maybe I'll show more of that in the future. But for now, I want to focus on that competitive side that I do for Onward. So how do we compare G2 to Oculus in Onward? Well, I mean, there isn't really. The visuals, they're just not as good. I mean, they're okay, but you already knew this. That's kind of the difference between tethered and wireless. That's the difference between Oculus and PCVR. So let's talk about visuals, but not the game visuals. Let's talk about real visuals. And honestly, this is kind of a negative. Well, not kind of, this is a negative for Oculus. So when I got dialed in for interocular and distance from my face, just to get that perfect sweet spot, I was disappointed. So there was like little to no screen door effect, which was nice. You know, if I focus on it, I can see it, but in game, it's okay. But the field of view is just, it's so poor. It sits around like 89, 90 degrees, we'll say, compared to the G2, which is like 114 or something like that. Strange number to just be. Or I felt like I had toilet paper rolls like taped to my face. It's so disappointing. It was just tunnel vision. The frame rate was good, you know, slightly better than the G2s or sort of the same. I could target accurately, but I just felt so kind of disconnected from the game just by looking through these tunnels. But okay, let's talk about another positive, tracking. Oh my God, the Oculus Meta, you guys got it dialed in like really well. And the hand tracking update recently, amazing. It's even more solid than ever. And this point, like just tracking alone really puts my G2 to shame. Like, I don't know how HP did such a shit job of this. Their IO tracking is just, compared to Meta, garbage. Yeah, garbage. I mean, maybe they need to spend like $3 billion in first quarter to get that sorted out. Like, Zucky, man, that's a lot of money, but like, thank you. At least in the tracking, it shows. I mean, not in field of view or the head strap, standard or elite, or full body tracking, you know, not having legs, or maybe also not on the interface. Yeah, that face pad, I don't know why you use sandpaper, like, which is the next topic, okay, comfort. So I immediately ditched the standard head strap and went with the Elite Plus battery, which I would say is worth it so far. I mean, I know a lot of people have experienced, broken head straps. I mean, I would say it's worth it so far. Mine hasn't broken. A lot of people's online I see have. So maybe I would say consider a different brand, but definitely go with the battery. I think the battery extension, completely worth it, especially when it comes to comfort. So there's the longevity, obviously, more playtime, everybody loves that, but the counterweight, having that battery on the back just to balance things out a bit on your head, totally worth it. Definitely do it. But also, then you have to do something else. Like if you want that longevity for gameplay, then you gotta change out that interface. That head foam is just so scratchy. I mean, if you're gonna spend a few hours playing VR, that's gonna wreck your face. I mean, it did for me. The Reverb and the G2, completely comfortable. I've already worn them for hours of gameplay, no problems. Obviously, I think a little bit of indentation because it shows you're wearing something heavy on your face, but no irritation. So maybe for the Reverb or the G2 or any kind of other headset, you're definitely going to want to replace those eventually just for hygienic reasons. You're sweating in them. But with the Oculus, like my face was on fire after 2 hours of gameplay. So I actually switched it up for the kind of faux leather interface and the VR cover, like sport or fitness version, just so there's kind of breathability. This I would say is totally worth it. I got the kind of slimmed down version to get my eyes kind of closer to lens, which honestly in the Oculus does nothing. I mean, my eyes are now closer to it, but all I really see is more chromatic aberration on the edges, just some curvature. I think my eyes were already reasonably close to it. The field of view, I think maybe got like 1 degree more, but all I'm seeing is more just some distortion on the edges. So, I mean, I would say for comfort, it's worth it. Maybe you can get that extra degree, but don't expect a lot of field of view kind of bump because you're just not gonna get it. It's just not there with the Oculus 2. But like just the comfort part alone, get it. Get something else other than the stock one. It's gonna save your face. So as usual, playing Onward with my ProTube, with the mag cups for the Quest 2, awesome. I don't think I could actually really play Onward anymore without it. Played with my index last night. I do not have the mag cups for my index, and yeah, I could tell. My KD ratio took a bad hit. I just can't seem to get that accuracy with that drift I have between hands without my ProTube. I mean, I already like can't see as far with the Quest 2. Just as for distance, it becomes a little bit mushy because of the low quality that it draws or renders over distance. So I just don't get that out of the Quest 2 that I get out of the G2, so I would assume maybe my long shots are a little off, but that's about it. I mean, mid-ground to foreground combat is actually excellent, super crispy, high refresh rate, so that all works really good. So I think, you know, if I was playing more fast-paced kind of close quarters combat or indoor combat, then it would definitely be a really good headset for that. But I would still definitely want my ProTube Magtube Carbon, just because if you're playing competitively, I think you can save kind of milliseconds as far as you know, bringing sight up or staying on target, not having that kind of controller drift, which may give you a little bit of left to right disparity on your shot. So you're gonna have maybe a couple milliseconds ahead of your competition, and that's everything. Hopefully sometime soon I'll be able to get the mag cups for my index, and then I can go in depth on that. But definitely for the Quest 2, I would get it. Oh, and by the way, this video is not sponsored by ProTube or by anyone actually. So this is all just my opinion. When it's what I mean, but for first-person shooters, that's what I'm always going to use. It's up to my game to like max potential, I think. Okay, so Quest 2 recording and streaming. Shit, it's horrible. I don't like it at all. I just like this like square output. I mean, maybe I get it from like Meta's standpoint. If you're sharing on social media, it's usually on your phone, which is kind of square output. But as a content creator, for me, it just doesn't make sense. I like having my camera set up and showing me on screen. I think that's important to get that kind of reality mixed with VR. That's cool, but I don't like to be half the screen, and that's kind of my only option when I've just got this square output from the Oculus 2. So you can crop in on it to fill your screen up, but then you're losing so much. Like then my viewers aren't seeing what I'm seeing. That's an important part about VR. I want you to experience as close as possible to what I'm experiencing. It's not cool, this square thing, or crop in. Do better. And then there's the delay. Oh my God. I mean, this part's really messed up. And it almost seems like you kind of can't get away from this delay. So you can do recordings locally onto the headset, record your gameplay right there, cool. But depending on your refresh rate and audio recordings, they don't correlate. Like, so over time, your FPS recorded kind of stretches beyond the audio recording. So over time, you get delay. This also happened in my recording on my PC. So in this, I actually streamed from my headset to my PC, recorded my camera input and the stream input into OBS, and over time it just got worse and worse and worse with this delay was created. So here's the worst part. In my G2 or whatever I'm playing my index, what I do is I capture game audio, voice over IP or in-game chat audio, and my audio all on separate channels. This is so later on I can cut things out or move things around or make adjustments however I need to as a content creator. That's really important. More flexibility, the better. With the Quest 2, I can't. So in-game audio and VoIP or voice chat are one. And then, so I thought, okay, let me try and add my headset on top, which you can see in the video. I've got my audio coming from the headset into earbuds, so I can hear the gameplay. I've got my Rocat headset over top of the earbuds, just so I can record my voice. So the whole kind of intent behind this would be that I want to capture my game audio, my game chat audio, and my voice audio all separately. But you just can't do it with the Quest 2. And that's a huge thing that they need to change, because as that audio drift happens, I can't fix it. It would be really nice in post if I could take the game audio and just adjust it or retime it where necessary to line up with the recording. But if my voice is in there and I'm talking, I can't readjust anything. It's just give me separate channels. That's if you just have that. Or, I mean, obviously you still need to fix this whole delay issue, but yeah, I really wish there was a better way to be able to sync up the audio, because I'm finding that my voice capture audio and the gameplay audio and the footage are coming out at like 3 different speeds, and you're just baking them all together. It's ridiculous. Meta, you have to fix this. If you need to spend another $3 billion on your second quarter of this year, have that be one of the things you fix, because people need to create content through the Quest 2 and not have to constantly start and stop the recording, which is their only kind of option right now. Is the longer you record, the more drift that happens. So if you kind of isolate your recordings to short little bursts, which is a nightmare to kind of to edit together, it's the only option right now, and it sucks. Like, again, just please fix this. And this really hurt bad. I mean, if I had done 3 hours of recording, it could have been for nothing. It could have been throwaway if I wasn't going to be doing a voiceover afterwards. Like, if I wasn't doing this video to talk about this, and I just wanted to do a Quest 2 gameplay onward session, I would have had to spend hours maybe hopefully being able to adjust the audio so that it's sort of okay, or just not record myself, or just, I don't know what I would have to do, but it's just disappointing that I have to jump through all these hoops to get good content with the Quest 2 because of audio. It's ridiculous. But, you know, overall, yes, I'm gonna use my Oculus, and I'm gonna use it a lot. Like probably a lot. But I think I'm just gonna do it mostly for personal use. As far as the competitive stuff, or the high quality content creation that I want to create, I'm going to be using my G2 or my Index. There's just more reliability, more flexibility as a content creator. And so this is for kind of fun when I'm traveling, or when I'm like not in the studio, or just doing something that I, maybe on my lunch break, I want to spend 30 minutes just playing a quick game. Yeah, that's what I'll use my Quest 2 for. But for as far as, showing really cool stuff or long sessions of gameplay, nope. I mean, why would I? I'm gonna stick to my Reverb G2 or my Index, which I just got recently. So I'll be doing some gaming sessions with that. And I just got this beauty in the mail today. Yeah, nice, can't wait. So expect more reviews and feedback on this. I mean, the one thing, I plugged it in as soon as I got it, and like one of these little metal parts of the T here kind of just fell off. I mean, I stuck it back on. I hope it doesn't come off again, but I mean, as far as like first part of the review goes, yeah, I mean, it looks, I mean, it's beautiful, it's awesome, but yeah, we'll see. So I'll be doing more reviews and kind of feedback and gaming sessions using all of this stuff and more coming up soon. So that's been everything in my kind of reviews or first impressions after a month of using my Meta Quest 2. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow the White Rabbit. Ciao.